Hello and welcome to Dee Blooms. So I just made a video about my catasetums, or catasetums, however people say it, about moving them indoors, which I had just posted, so if you want to check that out. And I knew I was going to make this video next. I had a great time yesterday, Saturday, December 2nd at Sunset Valley Orchids open house, winter open house. And as usual, Fred and Carlos, always a great welcoming crew, and all of the people that were there helping and working towards making the open house helpful and successful. They did a wonderful job, and there were so many plants available for sale from Sunset Valley Orchids, as well as a gentleman by the name of Ruben. I'm not sure if he honestly has a store. I didn't buy anything from him, although I really wanted to. I had a budget limit, and I actually had ones that I knew I wanted to get. So I came, I guess, with a list instead of just having an open mind, but I ended up with ones that weren't even on my list, so I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway, Ruben has amazing plants at the open house, and I think he's usually there. And then Peter Lin from Diamond Orchids, I've gotten quite a number of plants from him. He has, in a back part of the Sunset Valley greenhouses, he has a whole area where his plants grow, and then he always has plants for sale on site for the open houses too. So I also got one from him, which I will feature after I give you a tour of these Sunset Valley orchids that I got. I ended up buying 3, and the one that was on my list is this Holcoglossum sublifolium Rhynchostylis gigantea. And it's just absolutely beautiful, and it's been getting plenty of light. So I put it in my eastern window, which it will get filtered direct morning sunlight. So I've got a sheer curtain where it will be hanging with my other Holcoglossums. So hopefully I will sustain that and it will stay happy. I was so excited to find one of the plants. It has a flower spike right there. One flower spike, and I think you could see it better on this side. Number 2 flower spike. I was like, holy cow, how lucky can I be? So hopefully they won't abort on me. Hopefully I will keep them safe and happy, and they will grow and bloom 2 beautiful flower spikes. So I look forward to featuring a bloom video on this one sometime in the future. Now at Sunset Valley Orchids, they've had some changes where they built a whole new greenhouse, and now they have a greenhouse that's mostly dedicated to Paphiopedilums. They have so much more to offer there. And then the new greenhouse that so they moved all their Paphiopedilums into an existing greenhouse that housed like a lot of their Aussidens, the Australian dendrobiums, and the starts of their cymbidiums and zygopedilums. So they moved all those out after they built a new greenhouse and replaced where the cymbidiums and zygopedilums and den Aussies were with a whole bunch of Paphiopedilums. So after going through all the main greenhouses, I ran over on the other side to see the new setup of these greenhouses. And so going into the Paphiopedilum one, it was so hard not to walk out with like 20 plants. But I told myself, just one. So I've added to my Paphiopedilum collection. This is called Fanaticum, and it's Macranthum crossed with Malopoens. And as you can see, it says F album, Forest Surprise, and F album, Darth Vader. So if you look up Fanaticum, you will see an amazing picture of what hopefully this bloom will look like. It's going to have a really poofy slipper pouch lip. And I don't have, in my current collection of Paphiopedilums, I do not have one that will have that poofy lip, or I'm pretty sure. I have some that haven't bloomed for me yet. I think there might be one that might be a yellowish poofy lip, poofy lip. So I'm really excited because this is actually in bud, and I'm gonna, hopefully this will finish growing, and I can't wait to feature a bloom video. So this is just a really exciting purchase for me. I love Paphiopedilums. One downside is they tend to grow slower for me. I think in general they grow slower, but I really love the pattern on this one, the leaf pattern, which is gonna complement all the other leaf patterns that I have in my current collection. So I felt like this was a great purchase, great addition. Now, another one I stumbled across that was not in my collection and not on the list for me going to the open house is this Diac bicornutum, and it's a species orchid, and it's beautiful and looks kind of like a dendrobium. So if you Google this, you will get to see the beautiful flowers. It'll flower from each growth, put up kind of like the Catleitonia Why Not, which I feature a video on my channel if you want to check that out. But it'll throw up a stem and then like a poof ball of flowers, but it'll sequentially bloom. So the bottom buds will bloom first, and then as those demise, then the top ones will start blooming. And so it extends the blooming period, and I guess it's supposed to have a citrusy fragrance. And the Diac has changed, so I think it's also known as a Caularthron, Caularthon, something like that. So with all the name changes, I'm honestly not trying to keep up. So if you're watching my videos and you really want to look into what Diac stands for and what it now has been named, it's all on the internet. So you can Google that, and I'll try to put it in my comments of this video in case that's easier for you. But I don't want to try to pronounce everything. I just mostly focus on how to grow them, how can I grow them successfully to bloom. But this one was funny. So I was looking at the collection at Sunset Valley Orchids, and almost all of them have like splits in their pseudobulbs or canes that they're growing. And here's quite a substantial split right there. And so I caught Fred, and so he gave me a little history on this species. And he said that in nature, they naturally do this, and these fire ants come in and they set up house in these canes. And it's, you know, thought that they help protect the plant from other types of insects that might damage the plant. So it's like a symbiotic relationship, from what I understand. And so the story made me fall in love with it. I thought maybe there was something wrong, but he assured me, no, that's why you're seeing it on all these plants. It's just their natural, it's their natural progression of this plant. And then he warned me, he said these can be very difficult to grow. So he gave me a tip of don't overwater, especially in the winter. So I'm gonna very lightly give this a little drink once in a great while this winter, and you know, increase watering when the temperatures start warming up, when we hit into spring and I see more heftier growth, possibly, or root growth, or, you know, I'll look for the orchid to communicate when it wants more water. Let's just put it that way. But I will give it some really good dry outs in between, based on Fred's advice. So I'm looking forward to the challenge of growing this one. We'll see if I'm successful down the road. Now, as I was checking out, they were giving a free thank you plant. And so I ended up with this Aussie Den, Regal Vista. So it's the Giliaston, Regal Giliaston and Speciosum. So how sweet is that? Bonus plant. And it's beautiful. Oops, piece of bark just flew down. So let me go get the Peter Lin's orchid that I purchased. So one moment. So as I was going through Peter Lin's collection at Sunset Valley Orchids open house, I noticed this Epidendrum Porpax, which has very large flowers compared to the standard size. I have a very standard size one, and these are at least double the size of the flowers, and the growths and the leaves are a lot bigger. Actually, let me go grab my other plant. This one is called Porpax Lynn. There we go. Now I can show you the difference. So my Porpax St. Nancy, which I got from Santa Barbara Orchid Estate a year and a half ago, is not in bloom currently, but I do have bloom videos on this one. So I'm pretty sure I put my finger in to show you how, or I always try to show you with my hands in my bloom videos how big the orchid flowers are. So you could see how tiny the leaves are compared to this new one, which is called Lynn. So just try to imagine the flowers being smaller compared to these flowers. And these are beautiful, just gorgeous. They caught my eye, the shiny maroon lip, and just, yeah, the overall size of it, I knew it was something special. But what almost made me actually cry was, sorry about that, I had to cut away from the video. My stepson came back in from walking one of our dogs. But this one evoked an emotional response for me because it has my mother's name, Lynn. And December 1st is the 1-year anniversary of her leaving us. So when I saw that, I knew this plant was going to be special to me, and so I got this one from Peter Lin and told him the story as to why I think this one was meant for me to find. I have my father's name was Lewis, and he passed away back in 2017. And I have the Caularthron Lewis Posey orchid, which I have a bloom video on and I dedicate to my father. And I really, since my mother's death, I've wanted to find an orchid I could also dedicate. And so I feel I found that now. So I think everyone who's ever lost someone can understand these types of dedications. And so I was really happy to find this, really happy. After she died, I had Googled orchids with the name Lynn, and I really didn't find anything. I think I found a couple that had L-Y-N, but not L-Y-N-N. And now since then, there's a pinkish dendrobium that has L-Y-N-N in the name. So someday I might get that one too. But this seemed like fate to me since the anniversary had just occurred, and the next day I find this orchid. So this one's going to be a really special one in my collection. So so that was my orchid haul from going to Sunset Valley Orchids open house yesterday. Again, that was on December 2nd. Today is Sunday, December 3rd. And I'm going to get this video posted up here quickly. And I want to thank everyone who does take the time to check out my videos. I'm not in this for any type of income. This is purely just a passion I've developed over the pandemic. I'm 3 years into growing and surprised by some of my successes. Not surprised by some of the plants I've lost, but this hobby has become very rewarding, and the community that surrounds orchid growing, here's Twinkie, is a very supportive, peaceful community, which is something I have found to be such a welcome, lovely bonus in orchid growing. So I want to thank those who were at the open house, who I got to chat with and got to know a little better. I feel I'm gaining some new friends, which is always awesome in life. So, but thank you all to those who watch and subscribe. If you give a like, that kind of tells me things that you like about my videos, or any comments. And I love questions. If you have questions about growing, I'm happy to talk through my experience. Again, I'm in Southern California, and my growing environment is I don't have frosty winters, so I'm very lucky I can grow a lot of orchids outdoors. I do have to transition some of them inside that don't like temperatures below 60 or 50 after the summer season is done. But so if that's also kind of your growing condition, we probably have a lot we can compare notes about. So don't ever be shy if you'd like to talk some more about growing orchids, or even if you are in a different environment. I do a lot of indoor growing, so can compare notes with those who only grow indoors as well. So happy to help with that. But thanks so much for watching, and I hope everyone has a great rest of their day.